Plow.
The darker side of things. The darker side of things. The darker side of things. The darker
with Woodstock and LJ.
The Darker Side of Things, episode 5. That was hot. That was a hot mic. Episode 5. What's up, Woodstock?
What's up, LG?
Hey, not shit, man. It's been a minute.
It has. I feel great today, though.
Do you? Why?
Yeah. It's compliments of this pirate cake.
Yeah, I feel pretty great,
yeah.
in regards as well. So, it's gonna be one of those days. I think we gonna get lost in some shit, more than likely.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
But what? Man, it's been a couple weeks since I really sat and talked to you. What's been going on?
For me, man, I've just been trying to keep up with this cannabis industry, man.
What you mean? What's going on in the cannabis industry? Is it?
I mean, these guys, they're beefing over whether this guy has the real skunk or not.
What? Tell me more. Who's judging?
It's this guy named Blue Skunk of Vienna. I think he's in the UK
Vienna?
or something. Yeah.
He's all right.
His name is Blue Skies Vienna.
Okay.
I don't know him personally.
So what is it about his skunk?
So, well, he's claiming he got it from a guy named Old Timer. And this guy supposedly had the real stuff from back in the day. But that guy is saying that he didn't get it from...
From when, though? What's back in the day?
Like the 80s and 90s, like back then.
Okay.
It's like a small group of people that still have access to these people that still have these cuts.
Okay, so it's just old strains that are.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they're good. I assume they're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. These guys are still hoarding those genetics from then around. So when people are saying stuff's extinct, it's really not extinct. It's just you don't know the person that has it, and they're not trying to go corporate with it.
Got you.
So they're just keeping it in their little small garden in the middle of nowhere.
Shit, man, the industry's getting big. There's what 600 or some odd dispensaries just here.
No, I'm sure it's more than that.
It's more than that.
Yeah, they released the monthly numbers on the Facebook for the OMMA. But I know we got like 7,000 growers.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But how much money is the state making off this? Do we know? Do you know numbers?
Actually, I can pull it up because,
All right.
like I said, they post it every month. I usually share it from time to time.
I'm just curious how much revenue just the medical is bringing into the state. I know it's huge. And I'm wondering why it's not happening at a federal level yet. Because I mean, all of these states are making money. Now, what they're doing with that money is a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? That's there's misappropriations for shit everywhere.
So this was published. This is the tax revenue report as of June 9th of this year, 2021. From sales between January through May, they have made $35,616,897.
Say that number again.
$35,616,897.
So 36 million. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that's just from the sales tax. The state question 788 tax made 28,861,478.
Damn.
with almost 6 million coming from May alone.
Do they say where that money goes after that?
I think in the original legislation, I think it was supposed to go to schools and some other stuff like that. But I'm sure they finagled that around somehow. I have to go look and see what's happened to that since.
Yeah, I'm sure that's changed.
Because they're probably like, this is a cash cow. Like,
Yeah,
how can we siphon this off into something else?
That's what I'm saying. That's going to somebody's pocket.
Yeah. No, but check this. This was the sales like for the year of 2020. We had 71,593,772 for sales tax, with $56,245,888 for the state question.
How much has the state of Oklahoma made since it's been legalized?
Well, I mean,
That's an interesting number to see.
we'd have to add all three of these up because essentially it's both of these totals together for those years.
Okay.
You got another calculator? I'll do it real quick.
We got a calculator somewhere. I don't know where the calculator is on my phone, as a matter of fact. Ba-bam, ba-bam.
Hey, I would do that math, but Lord, let me tell you. That pirate cake.
Right.
I was sitting there for like 20 minutes.
I ain't even gonna blame the pirate cake. My brain has gotten lazy over the years.
True. It's like, why not just use the tech that's around you?
Yep. My brain has gotten lazy. For some things, though, for other things, it's good.
Let's see.
So while you tally those numbers up, give me your guess, just a rough guess, while you're calculating what you think it'll be before you get done.
It's definitely probably half. I'll say either a little bit over a quarter or $500 million.
Man, and what year did it go legal? 19?
Yeah,
18?
19.
It was 19? Mm-hmm. So it's basically been two full years.
And it's still growing. There's still tons of people getting into the industry. So
I'm concerned whenever big weed, big cannabis comes in. Ugh.
that's the number. That's from 3 years of sales.
So quarter bill.
Yep. Oh, you want to read it too?
Yeah. 247,069,206.
That's a lot.
Yep. $250 million. It's a lot.
And it's like, fuck, where's that money going? Because, I mean, I'm definitely seeing it with this new highway they got. They building all the highways up quick as shit.
Man, I'm getting tired of all the busted ass streets around me. Eating my tires up. That's some bullshit.
Damn, I gotta fix my car. You just reminded me.
Yeah, shit. I need to do some work on mine too. Fucking birds been shitting it up, making me mad under this fucking tree that I'm on. Yeah, I've been getting hot.
Damn.
I knew that rain was coming last night, so I backed it up in there and let the rain clean it up. So it got me good. So
Oh hell yeah, you gotta be strategic.
Yep. Yep. Did that shit. I've been chilling and working and chilling over the last couple of weeks. Just been chaotic, just shit going on in my atmosphere.
It has seemed like it's just something in the air. Maybe it's because it's super hot this year and people are just now going outside again.
It's gonna be cool this next week. All rainy and like low 90s, mid 80s. I'm down.
I mean, that sounds cool, but it still sounds hot.
Yeah, it's gonna be humid as fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Which it's gonna be humid as fuck always until fucking November.
That's the only thing I hate a bit about the heat, just being in a humid.
I don't have a problem with the heat. I hate the
Nasty
fucking cold, man. I can deal with the heat. I'm all right. It's the cold I can't deal with.
I like dry heat. I'm okay with the dry heat. The
You're not gonna
humid
get
shit-
that here though.
I know.
At all.
It's terrible.
At all.
But I mean, I could do certain amount of cold, but after a certain point, I'm like, nah, I get the fuck out of here.
Nah, I can't deal with the cold so much, man. It just my body doesn't cooperate with it. You know what I mean? I feel like no matter how much clothes I put on, I'm still cold as shit, and I don't like it. Y'all can keep that.
Yeah, I'll be seeing them having like 30-foot blizzards in New York and shit. Like, damn.
Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I don't mind. If it's going to be cold, I'd rather it be snowy. Fuck the ice, but which we get a lot of ice here.
Oh yeah, the ice will destroy a lot of your shit if you ain't careful.
Man, I didn't fuck cars up in ice.
Same.
So I don't want no parts of it.
You're just sitting there and like, fuck. There's no way to stop this.
Yeah. So last week we didn't have opportunity to record. Was Juneteenth. So which now is a federally recognized holiday.
So they go into effect for the following calendar year, I'm assuming?
I would assume so. I mean, it seemed really late to make it this past one.
Yeah. When they first passed, I was like, so is this for this year? Does this mean I'm now off? Like, what?
Excuse me. That was brought to you by smoking too much. Anyway, I would assume it was for next year because it was what passed the day before or it's like 2 days before or some shit like that. I don't remember the exact timetable of when it passed, but it's passed now. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm glad that black people are finally trying to set up some type of culture here. Because, I mean, when you think about it, most of our culture is tied to white people's cultures. We celebrate the Fourth with them, but it really has nothing to do with us at the end of the day. Because a lot of us are still enslaved.
Yeah.
So,
But how should we as people that have not been enslaved celebrate? What are your thoughts there?
honestly, that's a tough one because unless you know what culture you were with, I mean, you just either go with it or don't. Whichever one you side with on your personal.
How do you make a decision, though, at that point? Because you are American. I mean, presumably, you're an American. You're born in America, born in the United States. You know, born in America could be Canada or Mexico, if we're being honest about what it is. Yes, it's tough.
I
for
mean,
me.
I guess I could see like maybe a person that isn't black, like, well, what do I do? Because I think I seen like a story. Someone posted of their job having like chicken and watermelon for them for the day, and they were like, "Oh, we just thought this is."
How should non ADOS people celebrate Juneteenth?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not the person to.
I mean that
I don't even know because a lot of it is so black. Like every black person isn't the same, and all of them are gonna find offense with somehow or some way for you to come off for it.
Yeah.
So there's. I mean, it's so new. It's almost touchy. Like, I don't know.
I just don't know how. I mean, I guess it'll just be the same way it has been. It'll just be federally recognized. Is my guess.
Yeah.
I know they've been celebrating around here for decades that I know of.
Yeah.
So
Started in Texas, I believe, and then just kind of spread from there.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I know I've seen some celebrations and stuff over my years. So
Now we gotta get away from the pork.
yeah,
Cause that's another big thing, boy. You have all these hog roasts and stuff. I'm like, hey, we ain't slaves or been around that shit no more. We don't gotta keep eating like this.
yeah. That's fucking true. I ain't never ate like that for the most part. I mean, I've had some pro ass meals though. Don't get me wrong. Some some still hungry after you done eating meals, but
Oh yeah, it's better than not eating at all.
exactly.
Yeah, do what you got to, man.
Yeah, create a meals night.
What would you do for Juneteenth, or what would you say or recommend for that?
I mean, I don't know why it was necessary. To me, it seems like pandering.
Of course.
I don't see the necessity to make it a federally recognized holiday because black people have been celebrating it since 1865. For all over the country, there's been celebrations that have been dated till back then. So it's nothing new. I don't know how you could really celebrate it if you're not ADOS. And
It's like no matter how they choose to celebrate it, someone's
Right.
gonna find a problem with it.
Yep. So I mean, the people that celebrate it are going to celebrate it anyway, whether it's federally recognized or not. And I don't know. I don't know why they did that. It's not going to garner more votes. It's not going to.
It's a bait and switch thing, like a straw man. They're setting up the straw man. How can you ask me for something else when I've given you this?
Well, I think it just it perpetuates the culture war. It gives more ammunition to those that are fighting this culture crusade, and that's where we're at right now. We are in the heat of a fucking culture war, whether you like it or not.
But did you see the black TikTokers went on strike for making them Meg Thee Stallion dance for her new track?
Nah, I am ignorant of TikTok and the things that happen. Unless somebody sends me a TikTok or something, I'm ignorant of TikTok.
To fill the people in, essentially all the black creators that have been making these well-known choreographed dances that haven't been getting credit for them.
Give me an example.
I can't remember what song it was for, but there was this white chick that was invited up to like Jimmy Fallon to fucking do this TikTok dance that she wasn't the original creator for, but she was the most well-known white face for it, essentially. So, shit that's been happening for years. Well, these black creatives said, fuck it, we ain't doing it for this track. And so they waited to see what the white people were going to do. And you could imagine it was trash for the most part.
Yeah.
And so they're proving a point. Like, y'all not going to watch us and then go bite our shit and try to sell it back to your own people, essentially, with our swagger. Without us, there is no culture here.
Is that... Tell me more. Let's talk more about that.
Okay.
The culture of America. What is American culture?
Well,
I mean, it's
because America is such a melting pot.
I don't know how to describe it. It's the reason why I asked that.
It's very divisive. Like, our culture is divisive in nature in general. Because it's not like these white people killed all these Native Americans they claim to have taken this country and established it on.
Well,
So it's like, damn, you are living with your POWs essentially. I mean, some of them have been garnered special little tribe areas and stuff. But for the most part, you're surrounded by a bunch of people who celebrate that they established their shit on your land every year.
Yeah, I mean,
They tell you that they gave you smallpox blankets and shit.
I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate, but I assume that it is.
I mean, these are just stories I've read over the years.
Yeah.
I
And,
mean,
you know, you hear all kind of shit. You know, my ancestors were forced here from Florida on the Trail of Tears. I've said that a few times now.
yeah.
How do my people celebrate the 4th of July or even Juneteenth for that matter? You know, that's the things that I think about whenever it comes to making it a federal holiday. I agree with it being recognized. I just wonder what the point of it was. You know what I mean? To me, it just seems like Biden trying to get black favor.
That's what it is. But I mean, no matter how he wants to shake it, like, bro, unless you're gonna take this shit seriously, like just trying to throw us a small bone is not gonna work this
But
time.
I mean, whenever it comes time for people to ask, what has Joe Biden done for the black community? That's not gonna cut it, sir. You know.
Yeah. I gave y'all a holiday. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, fuck, we need more than a
Right.
holiday.
That's not
man.
going to cut it. That's not going to
Yeah.
cut it. What did you do for black infrastructure? You know, legislation that is not biased against or biased against anybody, any minority. You know, change those types of things.
Hell,
Prison reform type shit.
why couldn't we get an anti-hate bill just like the Asians did? They got went hella quick. They got this shit hella quick.
That's true. I'm tired of. I mean, I'm not anti-Asian. I don't hate.
I'm not
Asian,
either.
so,
I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, all right, I see what time it is. Ain't no holiday gonna change that shit, nigga.
I don't. Me personally, the mixed person that I am probably doesn't give me much room to speak on it in a lot of people's eyes. But you know, I still am ingrained in the life. You know what I mean of what it's like to be black. There's really no difference there when it comes to that. Hell, I get looked at just like a nigga do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just brighter. You know, from a distance, somebody might think I'm a white dude just because I'm light, depending on what time of the year it is. Anyway.
So, question.
Yeah.
So, did you know, because I found this out recently, that on the census, the category white is counting Europeans, Arabs, and Northern
Asian.
Africans.
Is it in? Say it again.
North Africans.
North Africans. I can
Yeah.
see a North African white contingent.
Yeah, they're considered Caucasoids still.
I can see
Apparently.
that just because the Mediterranean and France and
Yep.
Spain and Portugal and all
They
of that
just
being there.
Hop on a boat
Yep,
and go across. The way.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
So they
That's
consider all of those people white, and I'm like,
What about
oh.
and the South Africans? You know, there's a white South African population.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a lot more white populations that we don't know of in Africa. I'd be
Well,
willing
no,
to
I
bet.
mean, I'm just talking about just for our census. That's who they consider white.
Oh, really? Just for okay? Not
Yeah,
South
the
Africa?
American census. That's what's considered white on there.
Say that again. Which groups?
It's Europeans, Arabs, and Northern Africans.
Arabs really are considered
Yeah.
white.
That's why they don't have their own category. Because if you think about it, I'm like, man, they're like, this doesn't make no sense. Because some of them, I guess you could say, would be Asian. Like, I don't know if red dot Indians are considered Asian, are they? I'm sorry to call you red dot Indians, but I have to be more specific because otherwise, you know.
I mean, no offense there at all, but I've been learned to distinguish dot, not feather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and
I just had
it's
to,
fucked up. It's fucked up. I
had
know
to say
it. But no offense. Sorry.
But y'all know who I'm talking about.
Right. We got to distinguish dot, not feather. And get that dead air, son.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, damn, how many white people are actually here?
Aha, here we go.
The European.
So, consistency, bitches. Episode 5. Definitions.
Here it comes.
White. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. It includes people who indicate their race as white or report entries such as Irish, German, Italian, Lebanese, Arab, Moroccan, or Caucasian. Damn.
That's a lot.
Okay. Black or African American. A person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. It includes people who indicate their race as black or African American, or reports entries such as African American, Kenyan, Nigerian, or Haitian.
Haitian.
Yeah, Haitians are black. American Indian and Alaska Native. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of the North and South American continent and who maintains tribal affiliation or community attachment. This category includes people who indicate their race as American Indian, Alaska Native, or report entries such as Navajo, Blackfeet, Innu, Piat, I've never heard that, Yupik, or Central American Indian groups, or South American Indian groups. Okay. So Asian is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of the Far East, Southeast Asia, or the Indian subcontinent, including, for example, Cambodia, China, India, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Pakistan, the Philippine Islands, Thailand, and Vietnam.
I didn't know Pakistan would be considered.
Right.
Yeah.
What about Afghanistan?
I'm like, they're right next to each other.
Yeah, but I mean, they consider India as Asian, so which is crazy to me. I just think of India as Indian, not Asian,
Because they don't look nothing alike.
This,
I don't care what they say.
Right.
They look like a whole different group of people. Maybe they was brothers that splintered off or something. Who knows?
I think we need to change these categories.
Yeah.
Let's
Because
see.
a lot of us ain't categorized, right?
We've got two more categories:
Okay.
Native Hawaiian and the other Pacific Islander.
Gotcha.
It's a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Hawaii, Guam, Samoa, or other Pacific islands. It includes people who reported their race as Fujian, Guamanian, or Chamorro, Marshallese, Native Hawaiian, Samoan, Tongan, and other Pacific Islander, or provide other detailed Pacific Islander responses. That one don't surprise me too much. I can see all of those. That one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
The last category is 2 or more races, which I would fit under.
So the mixed category, they finally gave y'all a category, man.
People may choose to provide 2 or more races, either by checking 2 or more race response check boxes, by providing multiple responses, or by some combination of check boxes and other responses. For data product purposes, 2 or more races refers to combinations of 2 or more of the following race categories: white, black, or African American, American Indian or Alaska Native, Asian, Native Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander, or some other race. I wonder what some other race is. Where does Russian fall in?
I would assume European.
They're not in Europe, though.
I mean, they're technically on the Asian side, but
So do they fit in as Asian?
I don't know. I mean, I think I just naturally assumed them to be Europeans just because
I
they
don't
always
think-
beefing. But
I don't know though. Well, I just read the definitions of all of that, and nowhere in that did it say shit about Russia. And Russia's a huge player in the world. I wonder why they're not on there. That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird as shit to me, if we're being honest.
that's what I was thinking. It says European descent. It says roughly out of 117 million, 85% of them were European descent.
Of Russians?
Yeah, with the vast majority being Slavs that were minority people of Finnic, Urgics, Germanics, and other peoples.
Okay.
So
they're white.
I was gonna say also due to wars, they could have also had a massive reduction in population a couple times.
You mean
Like the World War I, World War II era.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sure that
Germany
definitely
fucked them
affected
up
a
a
lot
few
of-
times.
Yeah.
What about now though? I bet they're pretty
Well, that
strong
was
now.
as of. Let me go back.
I bet they're pretty strong now. What you think?
I mean, they definitely got the artillery for it. That was as of 2014.
You think China is who you think could fuck with us out of all the other countries in the world?
China only because they have the world's largest standing army. Like,
But we've got the best guns and the best weapons. And
Yeah.
and the knowledge of how to use them.
but they're spreading around. Like, they're colonizing like the Europeans used to do.
Are they?
Yeah, like they're all in the Caribbeans now. They're trying to
Are they?
slowly take over in Africa. Yeah,
See, this
Asia's
is-
making moves, bro. China
Well,
specifically.
that's what I was gonna say. I mean, And what about they're deep here in America too.
Oh yeah. Best way to get in is to come in through commerce and then slowly take over.
That's
from
why I
there.
don't understand why they think we're hating Asians. They're all over the fucking place.
You can't escape them.
Well, hell, China itself has how many billion people?
Yeah, they had so many people. They was like, "Hey, y'all can't keep having all these goddamn kids." Hey,
So
it's
they're
a
like,
limit.
hey, I want to have babies. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Basically, and
I wonder
so
how hard is it to be born in China and leave? Is it? You think it's pretty easy?
no, they're still under Chinese law if they leave.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
So there's no dual citizenship or moving. I mean,
Well, I mean, they can do that type of shit, but I want to say they passed it not too long ago.
can they denounce their Chinese citizenship?
That I don't know.
I wonder if they did, would they get a hitman sent out after them or some shit?
Yeah, you never know with China.
Man, they one of those countries that I wonder if a lot of what we hear is just boogeyman shit or if that shit is real. You know?
I mean, they do have their own people protesting a bunch of shit, so
Yeah,
I'm
the
assuming
Tiananmen
there's probably
Square shit.
yeah. I'm assuming there's stuff going on, but
All this shit with John Cena and all that, which I didn't.
he spoke perfect Mandarin when he apologized.
I heard he cucked up pretty good.
What that tells me is
that
that they
you think
have
that-
enough power to where they can make our American stars and shit bend the knee.
like LeBron has in the past or recently hell capitulated to China on shit. I don't understand it because
What it is they've become the new business center.
China
Like
don't have
before,
any influence on me, directly. So I don't know. I don't get it. But
what it was is you have to think about the economics here. The European white male has always kind of been the middleman to getting out of the country here. If you're trying to get supplies, like they had all the factories, they had all the shit here. I mean, try to do her own shit, and you got your Black Wall Streets and shit.
Hey,
We saw
episode
what
3.
happened to those.
Episode 3. Check out episode 3 on the darker side of things on YouTube.
Exactly.
By the way, I might add. Check out our YouTube page.
So
That's some new shit, by the way.
Oh yeah, as of recently. Yeah. But so we had that shit, but now thanks to the rise of like Alibaba and different sites like that, people can now connect to these different. Oh, it's like a wholesale site. So if you're on a business, like you can, all them custom rolling trays and shit people are buying, you can get all of that shit wholesale, white label.
So you can put your own shit on there.
Basically, yeah.
It's like a
custom labels, all kinds of shit. So essentially, the products people are selling, they're just getting them wholesale through like Alibaba or something overseas, drop shipping it here. Like I don't even have to set up a physical store.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I'm taking the European white guy here out of the puzzle, and we got some Asians overseas making everything and just shipping it here to whoever it needs to go to. And side note, do you want to know what demographic was the biggest for the Fast and the Furious movies these last couple times?
Should I guess Asian?
China. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so of course John Cena going to follow.
I wonder how they changed this latest movie for China.
Who knows?
I know they did. They changed everything. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
But if they bringing in more money, then yeah.
I want to see some of these China cut movies. You know what I mean? See how they are versus American movies. That shit would be interesting to me because they have to do complete re-records, don't they?
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, they have to do a little Chinese edit or some shit, if I'm not mistaken. That's weird to me.
What's crazy to me is the fact that China has become such a big market now that it's like, in my eyes, I view American culture kind of slipping behind. Like, they arguably have just as equal of a footing on the international market as we do. But as I'm looking around, I'm like, man, all we are producing here are entertainers, essentially. Like,
I know, yeah, whether it be sports or movies or
musicians. Yeah. But outside of that, it's like, who the fuck is doing anything else, really? You got your Elons and a couple.
Then I wonder how much of their fame and popularity comes from Chinese people. You know what I mean, or Asian people. That's a lot of. I bet that's a lot of their fan base, especially the popular shit.
But I mean, they got like K-pop stars and shit that I've never heard of that have sold hundreds of.
A lot of those K-pop stars, aren't they emulating shit that's done here in America for a lot of times? Yeah. I mean, I guess I've never paid a lot of attention to it, so I can't say exactly what it is. But I've seen some that was just emulating something that was already done here, just in a different style. So,
well. See, and this may be an interesting take on this, but the way I look at it is like this. So, because I'm in America, my perspective has always been of a melting pot perspective. Like, there's the white version of this, the black version of that, or I can go over here.
That's how we were raised and taught.
Exactly. However, if I go overseas and I don't, and it's one culture, one people, and we support our own, then why would I go support these people over here when I have my own version of it that I can support here? You see what I mean? I could listen to this other person over here. Yeah, it's good, but I'm going to still pour my money towards someone who looks like me versus...
Yeah, and that's 9 times out of 10 what's going to happen anyway.
Exactly.
That's where the money's going to be spent at. Well, I say that with the exception of the black community a lot of times.
Well,
I think it's gotten better.
Yeah, now.
I think it's gotten better. but that was always a thing that you would hear. People are not spending in the black community, but it's getting better.
I feel like our generations are starting to try to change that back to what it was, because we see what's happening. Like, you trying to follow along and interject yourself into these other cultures that's not yours, and it's not built for you. Like, none of this shit was designed with you in mind, so you gotta establish your own code and creeds.
And I started out by asking you, what is American culture? And here we are, and I don't think we've ever come up with a definition. We've talked about a lot of things that are included in American culture, but I don't know that you can really pinpoint.
Because there's so many different sides of it,
right,
depending on what area, what zip code, where you were.
It's almost as if it's regional.
It really is.
The culture is it is regional. If you think about it, the South doesn't perform like the Midwest does. As far as culture wise, things don't operate and they don't work the same. There's different nuanced situations that you'll encounter in the North versus the West, or the Southwest versus the Southeast, or something like that. It's weird. It's crazy how America is like that. Hell, you can even see a difference in culture from state to state sometimes. Like, hell, take California and then like Nevada.
It's like a night and day.
Yeah, just right next to each other, or hell.
Well, a lot of that is owned by the government too. So
yeah.
I used to wonder, like, where are they testing these bombs at? Like, how do we not feel these fucking bombs going off? Like, what is going on?
It worries me sometimes living so close to Tinker.
Same.
Yeah, that worries me sometimes.
Because they're a large repair depot. Like, if someone was trying to hurt us, I already know that's one of the...
It's a huge hub for them. It's a target.
Yeah. Hey, if y'all are planning on doing something out there, just leave the city alone. We ain't that shit.
You're going to get fucked up. You come over here trying to fuck with us. We got guns and shit.
I mean, we did. We gonna fight back. Don't get me wrong.
We gonna fuck you up. Don't come over here with that.
I got bills. I ain't got time to be dealing with y'all shit.
Right. Yeah, we got guns and shit. That's the only reason why nobody has came and invaded us so far. Japan tried, do their little thing, but they had to kill themselves to get us. With the dive bombing our ships in Pearl Harbor.
The kamikazes, yeah. But see, that's the thing. There's so many random people with stockpiles of weapons here that have been just handed down. That's like, Jesus, you really don't know who's got what at what house. Like, if they had to go around trying to round up some shit, that'd be a job I wouldn't want.
Have America been raided by an outside country since 1812?
I don't think so.
I think that was about the last time that I can remember. Maybe there was a conflict. Well, Napoleon sold a lot of the Louisiana Purchase during that time, so there was no French conflict there, and Britain owned most of Canada at that time.
I think most of our wars after a certain point were just with Native Americans.
Right. Just establishing West once, because there was nobody there. Everything was established on the east side of it, and the people that were already here were West and were being pushed west at the time. So yeah, I don't think we've been invaded or raided since 1812. I could be wrong, and people could say 9/11, but I don't agree that that's necessarily a raid. That was an attack. But hell, we've been attacked. That building's been attacked twice. Second time brought it down. Allegedly. That's some conspiracy theory shit we can get into or not.
Yeah, I've heard about the demolition experts
and all of that.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that. I remember I was watching TV when the second plane hit. I saw the first plane remnants because I called in sick that day from work, and I watched the building was on fire, and I turned the TV on, and happened to be on the news, and that was on. And then shortly after that, that second plane came and hit, and I was like, damn, this is crazy. And then you start getting reports of the other shit that was happening, and then that was a crazy day. How old were you then?
I was like 9. I remember trying to watch some cartoons because I was supposed to be going to school. But then I'm like, hey, Mom, there's some planes running into a building on TV because they cut off the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, what? So we just sitting there watching this shit happen. And I remember because my grandma used to have one of them fatbacks.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, wow, that's crazy. So I ended up not going to school that day because they ended up closing schools. So
Okay.
I didn't think nothing about it. But then growing up into, I would say, because ever since that time, I've never known a peaceful America. Like, it's always been some
kind of war engagement,
whether it was
or
the conspiracy theorists against this or that or this. It just always has been something.
Some
going
kind of
on
conflict. Yeah. I don't remember it like being like that whenever I was growing up. When I was your age, I grew up in the 80s, and you know, it was sports and music and shit for me. There was no real war type shit until we started getting toward the Iraq war.
Yeah, the one in the 90s. Yeah.
And then since then, it's been conflict for me. But those early days, it was none of that. Even when I went to the military, the engagement that was going on whenever I got out, my unit was deploying to Bosnia. And going over there to the Bosnia-Herzegovina conflict area, you know, and dealing with that. I was on my way out at that point, so I didn't have to go. But everybody else, all my friends that I made over that period, they was on their way out.
Damn.
So,
but that's what I'm saying. America is constantly been at war. If there's anything about our culture, that's what it is.
Yep.
War and division.
Yep.
Everywhere we go.
That is American culture. I mean,
get the dollar by any means necessary.
So capitalistic violence.
Because no matter how you look at it, I mean, you can justify everybody's actions on every side of it from a capitalistic standpoint. If I was a white person and then I had slaves,
but
like,
do you think
nigga,
capitalism
shit.
is the reason for violence? Because
it didn't always exist. It's just something else that's been propagated to justify it. In my opinion.
I don't know that socialism wouldn't be the same, you know, violent in maybe in different manners.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just one form of justification for it.
I don't know that we can get away from violence. I think that's just a human thing more than anything.
It's a culture, man.
Yep.
It starts with the culture of the people.
I don't even know if it's that. I just think that's what people do. Because from the first written shit and original written shit, we were killing each other and fighting and warring, you know. I think it's because we're tribal and territorial, and
for sure, yeah.
I think that's the reason why we murder and we kill as a human. And I think
honestly, I think if everybody had their own farmlands, like if we had enough distance between each other, you probably wouldn't have as much of an issue.
that's impossible, though. I mean, there's a lot of space.
I'll say it's a lot of uninhabited land out there.
There's a lot of uninhabited land, but then somebody's going to get shitty land, and then they're going to be pissed off, and they're going to go have a conflict with their neighbor because their neighbor has a little bit better land, and then we're right back there. You know what I mean? At least on a smaller level, but we're still there. You know, we didn't escape that. I don't think we can escape that. I don't know that we'll ever, as a species, escape that.
Hey, violence is necessary in some sense.
Right. So I mean,
all you can do is minimize it.
But do we assign that to American culture, or
that's nature?
So then we take that out.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say you take it out. You just have to have it planned, like planned violence, essentially.
But on the world stage, America seems more violent on average than every other country.
It's just an ends to a means for our country. If you be honest about it, that's all it is.
Oh, shit. Making a lot of noise.
I was like, what is that?
Damn Xbox controller.
Gotcha.
Back over there. Pulling on cords and shit over here, fucking around.
Damn.
Fidgeting. Lola's chiming in.
What's up, Lola? She's like, what y'all niggas doing?
Right. I hear y'all talking. Throwing shit around over there. I don't know. I don't know that we can assign violent necessarily to American culture. So let's take that out. Music is definitely part of American culture. And whenever we dive into music is influenced wholly by black culture or black creations.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people will agree with that, but
I mean, they really wouldn't have a choice. The further you go up,
yeah, you have to look at it.
Go to a black
we can look at it, but the music that has been popularized here in America over the years, that has been the most, that has had the most staying power and is the most influential music, has been influenced by black people. So
even your greatest white rock stars will tell you they listen to black artists.
Yeah, I mean, you could take it back to the blues and
the Beatles, all of them. All of them will say that they listen to black artists.
All the music that came out of slavery and was birthed, out of the South, that just spread across the country is amazing if you look into how the origin of music is. But yeah, rock and roll definitely. You stay over there.
For sure, rock and roll, jazz, hip hop.
Well, for the longest, jazz was devil music and shit.
Oh yeah. It used to be on that gas out there.
Yeah, for the longest, it was devil music. Lola had to come over here and jump on my lap because
I saw it.
I guess she was feeling like she wouldn't get no attention.
That was crazy because she did that shit quick.
Yeah. Well, what else? What else is part of American culture? I want to pin this down. So sports music, different kinds of literature though.
Reality TV shows.
Yeah. The film industry in general came from here, didn't it? Am I mistaken on that? That's an American invention, right? Pretty sure.
I don't know. I don't say I know. With Hollywood, we had a golden era where we were just killing shit, but
keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. We completely invented it. That shit crazy if we did though. It would make a lot of sense with us having Hollywood and all those old actresses that were abused. Shouts out to y'all. I mean, not for being abused, but for somehow getting through all that shit and putting on a great performance. He's like, oh, that's a touchy one. Like, I'll never know if it's true, but the stories I've read about Shirley Temple online, and I'm like, ooh.
There's a bunch of shit that you can get into as far as that goes.
Yeah, I'm like, they was doing y'all dirty. Like, fuck.
Yeah, that's. Let's see here.
He is currently scrolling through the history of film.
Right. I'm fast reading and missing a bunch of shit, but
Probably something important for later.
right. Yeah, we'll have to pin this. Hey, let's interrupt this. I just want to say, hey, check us out on YouTube, The Darker Side of Things. You can also email us at thedarkersideofthings@outlook.com. Chilling. This episode 5 of The Darker Side of Things. I'm your man LJ, joined with my man Woodstock. We just chilling here, and I want y'all to come check us out. You know, we talk a lot of shit. There's a lot of nonsense that happens, kinda, I guess. It's not really, though. We talk about a bunch of important shit. But I want to take a minute and just thank you for listening. Thanks for tuning in to episode 5. And we're going to keep doing what we do. Appreciate it. Listen to this beat real quick while we come back from technical difficulties. And we're back. Had
Yes,
a
sir.
little technical difficulties there for a second. But y'all don't even have to know that. I just am being transparent telling you that shit. But why we was doing that and waiting on that to be resolved, I got us an answer. So,
Okay.
in 1888, in Leeds, England, Louis Le Prince Films' Roundhay Garden Scene is believed to be the first motion picture.
So, England, y'all got it.
Damn. I thought we did it.
UK?
I thought we did it.
I mean,
We did a bunch of other shit, I
yeah.
think.
I think we had airplanes
Hell,
and
I
shit.
think now, I don't fucking know. Yeah, we did get airplanes.
They just got
allegedly.
gunpowder, so we'll give
China
them
got
that.
gunpowder.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
China.
Yeah. I think it's pretty specific there.
Yeah.
But was that the Mongolia area or was it?
Honestly, I don't know. After a certain point with European history, it just started getting confusing to me because they kept changing the names of the same shit over and over again. I'm like, why is this? Who?
Would you say
Are
that?
these the same people?
Would you say that gunpowder is the most influential invention ever?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or would you say the
changed the tide
internet?
of battle?
Would you say gunpowder or internet? That's a tough one there, huh?
I would still probably say gunpowder.
Would you?
Yeah. Because the amount of destruction that was caused from that one.
How much
invention.
destruction is being caused from the internet?
I mean, regardless, it
don't
still requires some gunpowder and use to cause some damage
true.
for real.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, think about it, had the Europeans not had gunpowder, you think they wouldn't have been able to do what they did.
Nobody
not
would
at all.
though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would just be with spears and arrows and shit.
And Shaka Zulu and them was tearing their ass up.
Right.
It was like, oh, we got something for your ass down.
Yep. Native Americans on horseback with bow and arrows tearing their ass up too. So,
Didn't they bring horses over here?
I want to say The Spanish did.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to say the Spanish brought horses.
That's
Who
crazy,
brought horses to America? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Do you know that there is wild horses in America, and in some places, if you catch one, it's yours?
Really?
Yeah, like the Northwest.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know if I want to try to catch a horse. This some big
Man.
bitches, boy.
You ever played Red Dead? And where you got to break a horse? That shit look hard as fuck.
I've seen niggas get kicked by horses. I'm like, oh yeah, I ain't fucking.
Hey, I was right.
What's up?
Coronado and DeSoto
Okay.
brought a bunch of horses. Cortez is supposedly the one that brought the most horses, or brought the first horses in 1519.
Just let them hoes loose.
Yep, basically. It seemed like it, and they just bred and
Kept going.
yeah.
Damn.
So, well, a lot of them were brought by the Spanish to the Caribbean. So I wonder how many horses is there now. Probably a bunch.
Still, yeah.
I bet there's a bunch.
If not, they probably got killed for their meat.
Yeah. I bet a lot of horses have been killed for their meat over the years.
You know, Burger King got some trouble in the UK for using horse in their meat.
Is that real?
Yeah, it was a real story.
Is that legit?
Not here, but it was over there.
I didn't see it. I have a hard time believing those stories, so that's why I ask.
Yeah, nah.
Horse meat. Cause
I don't eat horse.
I hear it's just stringy, and I can see it because it's a muscular ass fucking animal.
Exactly. I imagine it'd be just tough to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on how it's cooked, though.
I bet it tastes just fine if you cook it right.
Yeah.
I
The
bet
right
skunk-
seasoning can fix anything up.
Yep, I bet a skunk tastes just fine if you cook it right.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Get
gotta
that sack out early.
Just get the asshole out of it, or whatever the fuck, the little spray sack.
Yo. 'Cause I think you can get them desacked or whatever they call that
Yeah.
shit.
Mm-hmm. When they're babies. Because yeah, people. I've seen people with on the internet, this influential internet. I've seen people on there with pet skunks and shit, which is fucking crazy to me. If you got a pet skunk, I don't know about you.
It's a lot of people that keep some pets that I'm like, gee, what are you doing with this?
Oh man, that's a whole different episode on that. We could talk about a lot of that shit because it's crazy. Because like Texas and all the all the big cats there, and the number that are there in captivity versus in the actual wild is fucking
Wild.
crazy.
Yeah.
There's more in Texas than there is in the wild.
It's like, why? Why did y'all do this?
Oh man.
Y'all are fucking up the populations around the world. Like, I do wonder if humans are gonna lose natural meat after a while. Like, we're just gonna have to lab grow our meat.
Do you think this is totally off subject, but it just came to my head? I've thought about it before, but it came back. Could we break America up into 5 countries and have like some kind of a union and be successful? Do you think?
Yes and no.
Why?
Because the division we have in our country, it's almost like,
Well, wouldn't that help with the division though?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think it?
It's because it's melted so far.
You don't
now.
think we could like you could be like, if you've got a certain ideology, we love you down here, come to us, and that could be their area.
I mean, you could try that, but you're still gonna have that racial dynamic then play a fucking role in the next.
The problem would be convincing everybody to move to their other areas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because if I'm in Cali and you telling me to move to Idaho to go believe what they are, I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck that. What you mean? I ain't going to Idaho.
Yeah, that would be the problem, I guess. It would never be able to be logistically done.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it in my head. I'm like, okay, I agree with some people in New York maybe, but I ain't trying to live out there.
Right. Right.
They rat problem is out of this world.
But not necessarily states, but whole regions, like
Yeah.
the whole northeast section. You know, you'll have the Midwest. You'll have the whole West Coast will be a thing as far as like Washington, Oregon, and California. They'll be their own thing. Then
But
you'll have,
see, when I think of those places, I only think of specific cities that would be worth it. Outside of that, I'm
right. You wouldn't go there anyway. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, well, you know, we could break it up and sacrifice having to go to those cities that we ain't trying to go to anyway. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
you could have the West Coast, and then you can have the Midwest, or what would we call that? It wouldn't be the Midwest. It would be the Rockies
Yeah.
area. You know what I mean? The Montanas and the Wyomings. And,
Just use the mountain range as
Yeah.
the split.
right. And then
Yeah.
you'll have like the Southwest, which would include Texas, Oklahoma, probably Arkansas, or you know what I mean?
Hell, Texas is a country by itself, damn near.
That's true, you know, and it would encompass probably up in Kansas, and then Nebraska would be attached to the Midwest over with the Illinois, Indianas, and shit, and North Dakota, South Dakota, and you know what I mean. It could be done if you broke it up that way, but the problem would be the differentials between, you know, how things would be legislated and travel between, and you know, because that would be where the problem would be come in. We don't want your kind in here type shit.
Exactly.
You know, that would be the problem. But then, yeah, there's no way. It sounds.
And I was gonna say, even amongst the political spectrum, those are even divided now. So it's like not even the two major sides are all one anymore.
Yeah, so you couldn't even separate based on political affiliation for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
because hell, I think there's a good enough chunk in the middle that just are tired of both.
Yeah. I easily see Republican and Democrats falling off, and we're about to have a new splintering in the new groups that are then going to amalgamate into two bigger ones again.
I don't think we'll change parties or add different parties or anything. Do you?
They may change their names. That's what I'm saying. I think
But
they're going to still be in existence, just maybe not in the same names.
You think that capacity will change? How long do you think we've got?
I'll probably give it another couple of decades, maybe.
You think 20 years?
I could see it happening because it's just there's so many different ideologies amongst the different spectrums, and it's like
I wonder in 20 years how much those ideologies are going to change, because by 2044, white people are supposed to be the minority if you know consider all of the non-white people
people
as
having
one.
kids here. Yeah,
So how does that influence the way the country goes? And if that is even true, that's going to happen. Hell, I don't know. That's just something that I heard before. But, you know, I don't know how true it is. Lola, you're making me nervous. You got to go somewhere, baby.
oh yeah, I was seeing her over there. She was like, "No, I'm coming back."
Yeah, she'll be back in a minute. She's stubborn.
Yeah, no. Man, what's crazy is it's not like the everyday random white person that makes me nervous. It's like you
No, I
just
know.
living your life, you doing your shit. It's
My mo-
these people in the power that don't want to give up the power that makes you nervous.
My mom's a white woman. She's no threat to anybody.
Exactly.
My brother's wife is a white woman. She's no threat to anybody.
Exactly.
So,
But that's what I'm saying. I have no problem with those people. It's the ones in power that don't want to give up the power.
yeah.
That it's like, to what extent do you not want to give up this power? Are you willing to kill your own countrymen?
And that's where it comes in, is the people in power and the things they're willing to do to keep that power.
Exactly.
And people like us, they'll shit all over us to keep the power.
But the question becomes, if we get enough Asians here and Asians start being able to take over these offices and everything, because they would have, I would imagine, the backing of their home countries if they really reached out.
Andrew Yang just got beat in New York City for the mayor. He got stomped. So there's one age now. Somebody gonna give Andrew Yang a chance one of these days, though. If automation ever start doing what he's saying it's gonna do and start causing all those jobs, they'll be hollering at him again. I bet you. And a lot of what he says makes sense. Have you ever listened to Andrew Yang?
Maybe like one time, but I just didn't see him winning. Like there was something about him. I was like, man, they're not gonna vote.
He's a charismatic guy. He's
cool, but
his main position is universal income. Everybody needs to be paid a universal income every month from the government, and as on top of you still go to work and do your own thing, because there's going to be a lot of jobs that are going to be going away due to automation, such as trucking jobs are going to be automated.
Physical labor jobs.
Yeah, a lot of stuff's becoming automated. Robots are more and more taking over and becoming more part of the workforce. Whether it be computer software that's doing shit, or whether it be physical robots that's doing shit, or
self-driving cars,
or drones, or there's all kind of shit. So I see his point. I don't know how many jobs we're going to actually lose due to it, or how quick, but I can definitely see his point. And that's going to force people to have to go out and change,
develop a real skill.
Yeah, they're going to have to change the skill that they've known forever, and which to some people is a problem. I don't want to have to go back out and go to school and learn. I've done this for 20, 30 years. I don't want to. This is all I know. You'll have those.
The problem is if there was ever a point in period where the machines were taken out of the equation, due to an EMP or something.
Well,
who's going to be trained to still know what to do after that?
All it would take is a solar flare and wipe the whole fucking world out. And all the databases and all that shit. That shit can happen very easily.
Exactly.
So,
that's why I'm like, we still need skilled people just in case. As a backup.
That is the problem with automating everything, is because it's not flawless. And
it's one hack away.
Yeah, or
it's
one hack away, or it's one power outage away from,
So fucking up major systems for no reason.
I mean, you'll have some shit like what happened at Chernobyl, with their nuclear explosion and shit that they had, with shit failing and that's crazy. And I hate that we're leaning that way, but I think it's must that we lean that way too also, because we can't live for the what if that happens.
My thing is, I feel like with the job market, we're being limited on the jobs, because Amazon and Walmart have kindly went through and just killed the mom and pops everywhere.
Yeah.
Like brick and mortar stores are damn near not a thing anymore.
All the malls are becoming obsolete because you can just get that shit
online.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to go in here and deal with people. And then we've been in the house for the last year.
And that's what I was going to say. And then COVID just exponentially intensified that and made that more of a thing.
Because now people were able to really sit with themselves and be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I surrounding myself with all day?
And I don't want to put myself out there. I'm just going to order and have it sent to me.
Yep. I don't want to have to deal with anybody. I don't want to have to put on these fancy clothes to go down the street.
And it'll be here tomorrow.
Yep.
Or in some cases in a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like, we really about to see who was working and who wasn't over the pandemic based on what's about to come out now here in the next year or so.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate what you mean by that.
Because most people, essentially, if they were on unemployment, were sitting at home getting a fat check, because it was a check plus $600.
Yeah.
So you really didn't have to work. So if you weren't working on yourself or working to start something for yourself, then you ain't gonna have shit to show for it now.
Well, there's a lot of jobs out there though. They can go find work if they want it.
Man, people ain't trying to go back to them jobs. That's the problem.
That money's gonna run out. That money ain't gonna be there. That's a temporary thing. There ain't no point in relying on that. I know you'll probably take a pay cut, but in the long run, it's going to help you if you go out there and get a job versus sitting there relying on that. Don't listen to me. I ain't trying to tell anybody how to manage your money or do what you do. I'm just telling you.
I know some people that went ahead and got on, but it's like shit. If they're giving you that money, bro, put that into something.
Yep. And
but that's just my way of thinking about it. But some people ain't that far yet. They ain't matured that far in thinking yet.
Of course not. And the opportunities are endless on that. So that's there's plenty of places to put money, especially with industries like weed and hell, Bitcoin right now or different blockchain. I don't trust that shit still. I think it's a scam.
I think it's all a pyramid scheme.
I think it's a scam.
You can make the money while you have the chance to make it, but if not,
my belief is if you get in there and you've made an increase, you better get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Or you're gonna lose that money. Now, if that money don't hurt you to lose, and you can play that gamble, do your shit, because that's all it is a gamble.
Most people ain't.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested to gamble like that. Not with no real money.
I mean, had you gotten in early, dude, I think $100 worth of Bitcoin would have made you a multi-millionaire by now.
Yeah, if you would have when it first got in.
Yeah.
But now would be the time to cash out if you're one of them original. And then when you start doing that, you're gonna fuck up everybody else's shit.
Exactly. So it's who's left holding the bag at the end of the day.
Yep. Some people gonna be stuck holding no bag, and somebody gonna get a big bag. Is what's gonna happen. I know it.
So we already seen that with AMC and GameStop and shit. So.
Let's pivot back to something else.
Okay.
Yesterday, the Derek Chauvin sentence came down. For those of you who have been under a rock, Derek Chauvin is the cop that murdered George Floyd. He was sentenced yesterday on June 25th, 2021 to 22 and a half years. What are your thoughts?
I don't think he's going to serve all that.
I mean, good. Will they give him good behavior?
Probably.
I mean, let me ask you this, though. Realistically, do you think they're going to put him in a celebrity-type prison or in an isolated situation where it's going to be like Club Med?
They may have.
Because if they don't, this guy...
There may be some people trying to come at him.
And I wonder if he don't kill himself. I don't wish that on him. I don't wish that on anybody. He's a bastard for what he did, but I still don't wish death on him because that's not the kind of person I am. I don't wish death on anybody. But I could see him killing himself. I could see somebody else killing him in prison. I don't think, even if he doesn't serve the whole 22 and a half years, I don't think that's going to be pleasant for him at all.
Not at all.
Being the man of history that he is now, he's historical, and that's a fucked up thing to say or a fucked up thing to think of.
But this is going to be a case that people have to come back on, like Michael Brown, George Floyd.
Derek Chauvin is historical now.
Yeah,
and what he did and how he took George Floyd's life is historical.
He's up there with Zimmerman.
Zimmerman's, I wonder how much that Trayvon Martin, I mean, we know, but I wonder how much that legacy is fading over time.
I don't know. Well, he keeps popping up on the internet for doing dumbass shit.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from him here lately. Not real recently, but in the past few years, for sure. He's done some dumb shit.
Like selling the gun he shot to.
Yep. Selling the gun. He got in trouble for hitting his wife or some shit like that, allegedly. I don't know. I think that's what I heard.
It's like after that, boy, I'd have been walking on eggshells. I ain't about to hear shit from me.
And there's nuance on that fucking case too. which one day we can dive into. We won't do that tonight, obviously. But yeah, I don't think 22 and a half years is long enough. However, I don't think that's going to be a pleasant 22 and a half years for that man if he makes it, if he doesn't kill himself, if someone else doesn't kill him.
I think in general, when you think of prison, it's like they tell you it's for reform, but obviously these people don't get reformed.
Who are they reforming?
They're supposed to be reforming these prisoners, but
Can anybody? How much evidence can we show of reform? I would assume there's some.
I would assume the return rate would be your
But
evidence.
what are we considering reform? People that just don't reoffend?
Essentially, you don't reoffend for the same shit.
I wonder
and
what
you're
I
actually
wonder
being
I wonder what the percentage of reoffenders are. I'm not going to look that up this time, but I wonder.
I mean, I'm
I bet-
assuming it'd be a decent
I
amount.
bet there's shitty data for it.
Yeah. I assume it's pretty high because, I mean, once you get into that system and get institutionalized, it's like, fuck it. Worst case scenario, I'm going to go hit this lick. If not, I'll be home in time for commissary and shit.
It's crazy to think about, though.
It is, but for some people who've been living like that for 10, 15 years at a time in different segments, it's like, shit. You just learn how to move where you at.
That's the thing that I want Joe Biden to tackle. You know, and that's the one thing that I'll give to Trump is he made efforts towards prison reform and stuff like that. I will commend him on that, and I don't say that often that I commend Trump on shit because I really think he was a shitty fucking dude. But I commend him on some of his efforts with prison reform and some of the people that he granted clemency to and stuff like that. I'd like to see Biden direct his focus in that area because I think prison reform is such a huge problem and a huge area of impact in the United States.
But the thing is, they make so much money
That's
off
the
of
problem.
it. So why would they want to change it?
There's no reason you should be profiting off someone else's misery and their institutionalization or however we want to label it.
I mean, essentially, they are the slaves of our society. We may not address them that way.
To me, that perpetuates crime. And then when you have these prisons that are private prisons that are being paid based on body count, of course people are going to reoffend. I mean, how many of those people are there for shit that they shouldn't even be there for? Because the system wants to make some money.
School to prison pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a thing. I think we need to dedicate a whole episode to that. To be honest with you,
niggas nothing. So when you get out here, all you got to do is crime.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously there's some people that are just gonna want to do shit like that, but I don't think that's a majority of anybody of any race, creed, or anything.
Tactic,
I don't think anybody just wants to be in that lifestyle. They may feel like they have no options or things like that. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some that just be like that. Some of these youngsters is dumb as fuck.
Crash dummies is what we refer to them as.
Man, but there's so much disregard for life now. It's crazy.
Because of capitalism, man. I'm telling you.
Do you think it's capitalism?
It is. If it's not about the money, bro, listen. Anybody will slime you out here.
So what's the solution? Man. What's the solution?
You're asking people that don't give a fuck about somebody else to take someone else's solution. I mean, fuck. You would have had to get them when they was young, man. Like, it's the environment that breeds this attitude. And like you said, black people set the culture here, right? So if you have the black people in a constant negative, violent energy, and that's the music we're constantly exposing everyone to.
But are there multiple cultures here?
There's subcultures, but I would say ours is clearly the most prominent.
The most dominant.
Yeah.
Is it? But what's white culture? Colonization.
Copying our shit. I don't know.
Colonization.
They do have their shit. They have their antebellum shit that they love. Their fucking, I don't know. Their love of that red flag for some reason. And it depends on what white person you're talking about.
This is true.
Some of them follow their Irish.
It's a regional thing.
Stuff.
You know, you're right. Some people do identify as ethnicities that are just somehow now lumped into white.
Because some of them be like, oh, if it's another skinned person against a white person, they with the white person most of the time. But once the other people out the way, man, you ain't Italian. Fuck you. You ain't
right.
this. Fuck you.
Right.
Yeah.
And is that the subculture piece of it?
Yeah, that would be the sub part of it.
So, but they identify as a higher classification as white.
Basically.
But you have subcultures in the black community too. Mm-hmm. How do those shake out? Let's talk about this real quick. That's just got interesting.
I mean, that's essentially what I feel like our gangs are, essentially.
I mean, so that's one subculture is the gang area or the gang subculture or the gang mentality or the gang membership. I don't know.
But you have even generational gaps. Because you have those older people that grew up in the 30s, 40s, and 50s that are dying off now. Then those kids that went through those Vietnam and shit.
What is their culture? Because they were an oppressed culture. I mean, throughout their life, they had to live with Reconstruction or post-Reconstruction stuff. They had to live through Jim Crow.
Yeah, Jim Crow, the Dust Bowl.
Yeah. You know.
What was the stock market crash?
Yeah.
The remnants of that, at least. Yeah. The World Wars.
Yep. World War II, you know, World War One. And then the end of Jim Crow into more modern times where at that point shit it wasn't on the law books anymore. It was just more in society now. That's the thing that I don't think is addressed much. You know, just because it went off the law books doesn't mean it disappears. The thought process, the mentality,
that still is passed down.
Yeah, it's there. I don't.
Well, the thing is, with black people, is it literally depends on who they were predominantly around. Because the ones in the South, no doubt, they kind of took this redneck white attitude and put their own flavor onto it. And that is what the Southern black people are, essentially.
Yeah,
like
some
we
of
have
them.
our own foods, but
then you got the certain black MAGA type crowd out there, also.
Which I mean,
that's a contingent.
That is.
That's a contingent. You can't deny it.
But that
it's
was
there.
What would we call them? The field folk and the house Negro?
Your Candace Owens, your Brandon Tatums.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Who else? Jesse Lee Peterson.
Shit. Well, that's the thing.
I mean, there's a lot of people you can throw into that box. I don't know what I would call them. I would call them anti-black people. Amongst
black people, there's so many different boxes you can tick to check somebody out.
And I would borderline put Brandon Tatum in there. I can kind of see where sometimes where he's coming from. He has a better argument than a lot of them. I don't know if any of y'all don't know who Brandon Tatum is. Former police officer, now is a conservative advocate. That really is for the better way to say it, he's anti-black a lot of times, or a lot of black culture issues. Anyway, I don't know how else to describe it. If you want to look it up, I don't necessarily encourage it, but if you do, look it up.
Man, we're still trying to get our culture to respect, just to get a basic, genuine level of respect between each other going.
I know. So how do we? I mean, we've been talking about that at episode after episode. How do we get that going? I don't.
At this point, it's literally up to the individual. Because, like you said, if a nigga don't even give a fuck about killing the next person next to him.
I mean, there was a story that I heard yesterday, the day before yesterday, where a mom had a shootout with her 17-year-old son and killed him. They both got shot up. And
I can believe it.
Last I heard, the son died. I don't know if the mama died, but
yeah, I can believe that.
That's crazy to me. You know, the first thing to come to your head, what the hell did he do to make his mama shoot him up like this? But then you got to why was he shooting his mama up like this?
Exactly.
And
you don't know if there was some drugs involved, some money involved.
You know, my heart goes out to the family of them that had to endure the aftermath of this. But it's just stories like that is just crazy to me. You know, that I used to live on that side of town where that happened. You know, considering possibly moving back to that side of town. But you know, that
sure?
Yeah, right. I mean, certain shit gives you pause. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't know how. I don't think there's a fix for any of this is the fucking problem. The only thing we can do is kind of sit in there, bob and weave, and kind of take the punches as you can, and, you know, strike back at every opportunity, you know, do everything you can to move forward. And I don't think that shit's going to change as we stand.
I feel like America has been the longest game of capture the flag. Like, this group is holding the position and they've been holding it, but it's slowly getting overran.
That's a good fucking analogy. I like it. I think the world is that, though.
Yeah.
Not just America, but the world has just been big capture the flag. Are we losing the flag right now as America? Because I think over the last several decades, we've had the flag. I mean, I'd say since the Industrial Revolution, we've had the flag.
I would say our country is going the way of Rome, and the reason I say that,
like the collapse of Rome.
It feels like it. It feels like we've extended ourselves so far out. Our budget is so far out of control. Our people are divisive and going in so many different directions.
So I mean. Yeah.
All it takes is because China, they got the art of war. They know what the fuck to do. They just sitting around waiting. They sitting around waiting.
I've listened to the audio book of the Art of War. I like the Art of War.
Look, they know what's up. They like all we got to do is wait. They have so much infighting. We don't have to do much. They're going to implode at some point.
Yeah. So.
If it's not another civil war, there's going to be something that happens.
So what do you think will be the boiling point, though? So Donald Trump has a revenge tour he's about to start doing.
Oh my god!
His rally's about to start.
July
3rd. He's doing his rally. I think it's in Florida.
I didn't know he was running again. But.
Yeah, he's running. I mean, you know, if depends on what news you listen to. He's got some criminal charges that is probably about to be levied here pretty soon.
Everyone.
Rudy Giuliani just the other day got his law license suspended. If you don't know who Rudy Giuliani is, former mayor of New York City and Trump lawyer at least at one point. He's dismissed him and said he's not his lawyer at one point. So it's hard to say. At one point he was Trump's lawyer. Yeah. I don't know what capacity he holds right now, but he's lost his law license. So his son was on TV throwing a fit about that, who's running for mayor, I believe. So I don't know, man. This shit to me just plays out like a book or like a movie.
It's like we're just here for the latest chapters being
Yep.
written.
We're watching and we're seeing this whole fucking thing play out right in front of us. Hell, we may even have indirect influence at times of it.
You know, it used to make me wonder. I was like, how do we have all these millions of people alive, but only a handful of stories were passed down? I'm like, it's because people just reacted to the shit. They got time to be like, well, this is how it happened.
Right. Well, and some of the stories probably change so much they just get dismissed for being fake.
Exactly.
You know, or some of them have been suppressed where they just disappear. Also, I'd be willing to bet, you know.
Because I'm wondering, like, how the story of 9/11 and all the shit that's happening now is going to be told 50, 60 years from now.
It's interesting. It'd be nice to know. I don't know that we'll be alive to see it.
Shit, we might.
That'd be me being a hundo.
You can make it. It's some people that old. It's some people that old.
I don't know that I want to.
That's true. I mean, I'm sure everyone else probably gonna be gone by then. You just
I don't know that I want to. You know, just based on the trajectory of where shit's going now.
because you never know. Like niggas may not even be on this planet by then. They be in Mars.
I mean,
somewhere else.
we got motherfuckers planning on exiting the planet here soon.
And it's like, what do y'all know that I don't?
Right. These motherfuckers planning like they watching their clock. Like we about to bounce.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Time to sending people to the Mars too. I'm like, huh?
It's people that's out there like shit thinking about, damn, if they have an opportunity to move to Mars, I think I might move to Mars. You know, that's I believe is the thing. I could be making that up.
No, that's for real. But I mean, that's the flag being moved. Do you want to be one of the originators somewhere else, or do you want to still keep trying to fight for the scraps here? Because at least if you're one of the first people up there, you're establishing the new businesses that people are going to have to go through once they get there.
I don't want to go to Mars. I have a whole movie script in mind about that. We could talk about that.
Because who's to say once they get your ass up there, they don't just re-enslave your ass and like shit.
Well,
There's more mercenaries of you.
There's all kind of shit that could happen.
Yeah. How long is it gonna take the police to get here to stop whatever?
Let alone, I mean, I think you're just gonna have to be a domed colony. Number one,
Pretty much.
I don't know that where you'll have to artificially pump in oxygen and shit like that because they don't have no atmosphere that I know of.
Terraform it, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot that can go wrong. I don't think I'm interested. I don't want to be one of the first, but I'm pretty sure. Because if you see it, I feel like they've been warming us up to the idea. I gotta see some.
We gotta get the fuck off.
I gotta see some motherfuckers. No, let all them motherfuckers. I'll keep Earth. Y'all motherfuckers go. Y'all can have y'all's own planet. Y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all want to do, and then we'll just continue doing what we doing down here.
But the reason I wonder is because of all of the nuclear waste that's been dumped in the oceans and all these oil spills. I'm
telling you, man, we can get rid of some of these motherfuckers that's causing us this problem. All these capitalists that got all this money to fly to Mars, and I bet we can fix our problems.
That's not gonna happen.
I mean, let's convince them to go to Mars.
Everybody runs off money. That's part of the game.
We'll make our own money once them motherfuckers get gone.
Look, if we in a race to capture the flag, you need money to pay for the fuel.
Their flag is on Mars.
They gotta pay for the fuel.
Let them take all that they need right now to get to Mars. Get your ass to Mars. We ain't got to deal with them no more. They're not coming back once they go.
Well, they're gonna need the materials and the people to keep procreating.
We'll sacrifice a little bit of shit. Earth is going to continue to produce for us. It'll start getting more clean. You know how much cleaner California was after COVID lockdowns and all of that?
So people not being outside.
Right. We get some of these motherfuckers gone. I'm telling you, man, I think that's the plan. I think we got to push Mars.
My thing is, for them, if they got to cryo sleep to get there, it's like by the time they get there and really start living, we're going to be in a whole nother decade like, oh yeah, I forgot about y'all niggas. But
it's interesting, man. It's interesting.
It is.
So another thing, one day later, a statue of George Floyd in New York City that was dedicated on Juneteenth. One day after Chauvin was sentenced to 22 and a half years, it was defaced in New York City.
I mean,
that's some fucked up shit.
Yeah, I would have expected it.
Did you see the white guy in Florida, like 20-year-old dude that burnt rubber over the pride flag?
Yeah, I seen
and
that.
all of that and all that, and now he's being the first person being targeted by these GOP laws for defacing memorials and all that shit. That's kind of interesting and funny. And then they're looking at video and shit like that on the George Floyd, which is a monument and you know, shit like that. And they're the ones that have enacted these laws, and they're the ones that are gonna start paying for it because they're the ones defacing shit. Yeah, that's just funny to me. It's just funny to me, you know. And there's a lot of that goes on both sides because there was a lot of Confederate statues that was defaced and all that. That was the thing.
But it wasn't a law yet.
Yeah, that's the thing that stemmed the law to come. You know, so that shit's just funny to me, man.
It's just class shit, man. The higher classes playing with the lower classes, man.
So, what you think about Joe Biden's America, man?
Honestly, America doesn't feel different between the presidents for me personally.
I don't feel any different. It's just another person that's catching the blame for a bunch of shit. Is what it seems like to me.
It's just the same old bullshit. I think what it is with the government is people have an idea in their head, but they don't just really face the reality, and it's like, nah, it's another person like you just sitting in an office making dumbass decisions.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Right now, some old white dude. When do you think it'll be before the next black dude is in office? You see any on the horizon that you would even consider?
And let's be honest, Obama
came out of the woodwork. He wasn't somebody that was.
He was raised by white people. Yeah. Wasn't his dad in the CIA or some shit?
I don't know if his dad was in the CIA.
Some form of military or something. Yeah,
I don't know about that. I know he was born in Hawaii to a white woman and a Kenyan native, which would make him an American citizen, bitches.
Whether he was an American citizen or not, I think he was a unicorn regardless. Yeah. Like, his whole situation, his story just sounds so unbelievable sometimes when you're like, nigga, how did you get here?
Man, and that lends itself to other fucking conspiracy theories that we ain't got time for.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm like, bro, you definitely had some help getting here. There's no way in hell. Like, I don't know what deals and whose hands you shook to get here, but
he did it. I wonder what it's going to take for the next.
Shit, we just gotta wait 30 years. Enough for these white people to die.
you think that's about what it's going to take? About
I mean, America's in the middle of a negative death rate.
I don't know. What if Joe Biden dies?
Kamala make him holler.
Kamala Harris will be the first black woman.
Man, they already don't take it seriously. No offense to her, but
what do you think will happen if that happens? How do you think that will go over in the public?
I mean, they gotta have a choice. They're either gonna cause mutiny or they just got to stick it out till the next election.
And who would her vice president be? She'd get to pick her vice president, wouldn't she?
I thought the Speaker of the House goes up or something. Because they transfer positions.
So would it be Nancy Pelosi as the vice president, and then Chuck Schumer would move into the Speaker of the House?
Yeah.
And then who would move into Chuck Schumer's spot? Because it would be a Democrat.
Yeah, no, there's like a series. Yeah, it's like a 10 step hierarchy. I don't remember how that shit works.
I didn't know if
they never killed enough of them to get to that point.
Yeah, I didn't know if they, because I don't think, like, when JFK died, who got it after that? Jimmy Carter? Is that who was?
I thought it was LBJ.
Yeah, LBJ. That's right.
Because it happened in Dallas. There's a conspiracy theory about that too.
That's right, LBJ. So. And was Jimmy Carter his vice president?
I don't remember. You know, that never... I know. Think about it. As much as I've learned about him taking over as president, I don't think they ever talk about who his vice was after.
Nobody
JFK
ever
died.
cares about the vice president.
I'm like, what? That's like literally the first time anyone's ever asked me, like, who was his vice president after Kennedy?
Hubert
died?
Humphrey.
I mean, no offense to you, sir. I don't know if you're alive or not.
I don't think I don't know. He's probably not alive, but
Oh, okay.
no offense to anybody that's
To
related
his
to him
family,
either.
you know.
But
Y'all cool.
I don't know that I've ever heard that name. Nobody
No?
ever gives a fuck the vice presidents.
Unless it's a vice president that goes on to do something like a Joe Biden, I guess.
What
'Cause
about-
technically he's been in office now for.
What about Mike Pence? You think he'll be recognized as a vice president? We know Dick Cheney.
He would have to at this point. Like him and Trump. Oh my God, that presidency is gonna be infamous for our country.
Yeah. I wonder how that's going to look in 100 years, the Trump presidency. Assuming it stays the way it is, he
I
doesn't
think-
get a second term.
Well, I
in
was gonna say, I think
2024.
that depends on how this next decade goes. Like from the fallout of all of that and what it turns into. Because I easily see them rallying to put him back in office. To be honest with you,
Yeah, yeah.
especially after that voting shit, and then people got Biden in there, and the Democrats ain't doing no better.
Who's
Yeah.
the first vice president that comes to your mind when you think about vice presidents? Like,
I don't know, probably Biden, but that was only because he ran with Obama. Like outside
Just-
of that,
just because of your lifetime and everything.
yeah, like I don't really think they covered too much about the vice president.
Teddy Roosevelt was a vice president.
Was he?
Yeah. John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
I didn't know they
Vice
were vice
president.
president. It's kind of a cheat code. Just
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah. It is a cheat code.
It's like, oh, I've already been doing The Office for 8 years. Might as well let me do the full one.
Yeah. Lyndon B. Johnson was John F. Kennedy's. And then Hubert Humphrey was Lyndon B. Johnson. And then, oh shit. My shit was way down. Jimmy Carter never was vice president. I thought he
okay.
was. I guess I was wrong on that.
Yeah, I was like, I know he was president,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Walter
no.
Mondale was his president. I think, didn't he just die recently? I believe he did. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm tripping.
wow.
Nelson Rockefeller was Gerald Ford's vice president.
Rockefeller? They put a Rockefeller,
We had a
as
Rockefeller
vice
in
president?
office.
Oh, Lord. If y'all don't know about the Rockefeller family, you definitely should look into them. Very
Look it up.
interesting
Look it
folk.
up. If I had to guess, the most famous, if I had to say, the most famous and the first VP I think of is Dick Cheney.
Because of the Bush era, yeah.
Yeah.
But I forgot about him. I always heard about Bush, but I never thought about Cheney at all, like ever.
He was the one pulling the strings, though, or at least it appeared.
Probably.
I mean, it appeared that way.
Who knows?
Mike Pence will be a popular vice president, but I don't know for the reasons that people think.
He seemed like he just had something off about him every time I
think-
heard him talk. I was just like,
I think whenever I don't think their base is going to look at him like they used to since January 6th. And I want to make a correction from a previous episode. I know I said it was 6 months later. It was my math was fucked up and I was high. Fuck y'all. It was only 5 months. We almost to the 6 month mark. But anyway, that's just my little correction from a previous episode.
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Y'all was following me. It was some months, bitches. But yeah, Mike Pence they were talking about hang that motherfucker though, January 6th. It was
I can
people out
see-
there screaming, hang Mike Pence.
Well, I mean, he essentially turned on who they was their hero. So
He's still that hero. Not is.
Yeah,
There's no
no,
was.
that's that's
Donald
just so
Trump is
weird.
still the leader of the Republican Party. Which is weird to me.
I never would have thought that would have been the case if you had asked me when I was in middle school or elementary. I'm like, you mean the guy from The Apprentice?
Right.
Yeah, no. That just tells me no matter where you are in life, it could be completely different 10 years later.
The fucking you're fired guy.
Yeah. You're fired.
You're fired guy is the
You're
president.
fired.
The most powerful position in the world currently. Is it though? Is it the most powerful position in the world?
I think they're making a mockery of it, so probably not.
What would you say would be the most powerful position then?
In the world?
Yeah.
I don't think we know what it is.
I'd say Speaker of the House.
But the reason I say that is because I don't know who's pulling the strings behind these people.
Or the Senate Majority Leader. One of those two are the most powerful people. I think throughout Trump's tenure, I think Mitch McConnell was more powerful.
It seemed like he had more of a control over a lot more shit than Trump did, for sure.
I think Mitch McConnell was more powerful. Just as far as legislation goes and what gets passed and what's not. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm starting to get a little hungry.
Yeah. It's about time to wrap it up.
Okay.
You got any parting shots?
Parting shots. Stay out of trouble. Don't let the heat drive you to do some wild shit.
It's hot. It's cool right now, but it's hot.
Yeah, niggas out here doing wild shit. People getting shot at and shit. Like, man.
Stay safe. Stay safe. Make good decisions.
Make sure that's a firework on the 4th, okay?
Because I know y'all gonna celebrate the 4th too. And that brings it back to the beginning, full circle. Celebrating Juneteenth versus Independence Day.
It's just
do we celebrate both?
Set off a gun. Boy, I'm just ready to shoot something. I don't give a fuck.
What you gonna do on the 4th?
Probably go to a gun range.
I'm on a 4-day weekend. That 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Oh hell yeah!
So I'm gonna go ahead and figure something out. Get into some shit.
Man. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Shit, I would.
Trying to plan some vacation time coming up here a little later. Have some getaway. Have some shit to talk about whenever I come back.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we can hook up shortly after that.
Oh yeah.
You know, episode 6 coming.
Yep.
So it ain't gonna happen before then. Episode 6, I'll probably be on my first day of my 4-day weekend or so, because we're getting back into it. Like I said, I had to take a couple weeks, but we're back.
Good, man.
But now they are being loaded on YouTube. Matter of fact, let me check the progress as we stand. There's about 1 hour and 5 minutes left before it's completed. I think there's 3 episodes on there already. It's The Darker Side of Things on YouTube. Check us out.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe.
Yep.
Like and subscribe.
Same. There's a email address. Oh, excuse me. The Darker Side of Things at outlook.com. So any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to direct at us, you can send it there. We'll be checking that out. Hell, we may read some of it on podcast, or maybe have a topic based on them. So hit us up, give us some shit to talk about on as far as that goes. But that's all I got, man. Dark Side of Things, episode 5.
Episode 5, man, y'all. Peace.
Peace.